Hi guys, guess what? Anwar has recently asked Mahathir's children to return their wealth to the country. In a recent Mata Najwa interview, Mata Najwa is an Indonesian news program. Anwar said, I'm quoting from him directly. Let's say Mahathir, if his son declared he had 1.2 billion, they should explain where the money came from. If they can't explain it, the money should be paid back. Anwar is likely referring to the fact that two of Mahathir's sons have declared an enormous asset to MACC. Mokhzani has declared 1 billion. Another one of Mahathir's son, Mirzan, declared 246 million. Recently, Mirzan's house was also robbed and 1.8 million worth of jewelry was stolen from Mahathir's granddaughter's bedroom. The fact that Mahathir's granddaughter has so much luxuries, Cartier bangles, gold rings, golden chopsticks, even more than the theft itself, has set tongues wagging. Now, Anwar asking Mahathir's children to pay back hints at two things. The first is that Anwar, like many Malaysians, suspect that the extraordinary wealth of Mahathir's children likely came from the country's coffers. That's why he's asking it to be paid back. When he says payback, it probably means payback to the country. The second is that although Anwar might believe that the wealth was unrightfully taken from the nation, the government probably cannot prove it. That is why MACC has taken no action against Mahathir's children, even though they have declared the enormous amount of wealth. The MACC, the government, the authorities, they can't take any actions because on paper Mahathir's children might be able to prove that they obtain their wealth legally. Mahathir himself, as we all know, is very confident that no one will ever be able to prove his children obtain their wealth illegally. I think Mahathir's confidence comes from the fact that he never did anything tangible to move the nation's wealth directly into his children's bank account. If he has done nothing to move public wealth directly to his children's account, how is it that so many Malaysians, including Anwar, believe that Mahathir's children have taken possession of the nation's wealth unlawfully? Maybe not unlawfully, but illegitimately, wrongfully, right? Well, we probably believe that because that's how crony capitalism works. Now, this is how crony capitalism works. Now, imagine I'm the Prime Minister. So, because I'm a powerful Prime Minister, I have powers almost unilaterally to approve or not approve, say, a mega project, depending on whether I believe it will be beneficial for the country. It's just my belief. If I think it's beneficial, I can move a project, approve a project. Say you are my crony. Say you are my crony and you come with me with a proposal about how something will be good for a country. Maybe your proposal is to build a new city, or maybe it's to build a tall skyscraper, or maybe you want to send a rocket to space. I might just say, sounds great, bro. That sounds great. I'll think about it. I'll come back to you later, but I never come back to you. Now, if you are a smart crony, you'll read between the lines. You'll realize that I haven't gotten back to you, not because I don't like your proposal, I love your proposal, but because I don't see what's in it for me. So, when you realize that, you will probably do what any crony would do. You would probably pull some strings, use your influence to say, get my son a position on a corporate board that you control, or maybe you can ensure that my daughter's company land a lucrative contract from a firm that you are connected to, and then voila, magically I will approve your proposal. On paper, if we do this, everything will look legit. I had the authority to approve a project in the national interest. I can justify that the project is beneficial for the country. You probably, my crony, you probably had the capacity or ability to execute the project. About my children, well, I didn't give them a single cent, isn't it? They became rich through director fees, corporate dividends lah and private profits. There's nothing illegal about it. I can claim they earned it through their hard work, through their merit, because they deserved it. Legally, there is no corruption here. There is no paper trail to prove that public fund has flowed directly into my children's pocket, or even you, my crony lah, yeah? But though everything is legal, everyone can't help but suspect that something is terribly wrong. We suspect it because we got eyes, like we got eyes, we got ears, we got brains, and we know it's impossible for my children, say I'm the Prime Minister, to possess such great amount of wealth by merit alone. Everyone sees that had my children not been the Prime Minister's children, they would have never amassed such a great amount of fortune. In other words, though no one can prove it, that I moved the nation's wealth into my children's pocket, and though no one can prove that my children accumulated their wealth illegally, I actually did move the nation's wealth into their hands lah. I just did it legally. I just used the power and the trust and the confidence that the nation has vested in me to make what is wrong legal. At the crux of of Anwar asking Mahathir's children to return their wealth lies that question lah. That question is, what happens when something wrong becomes legal? In an ideal society, what is right and what is legal is the same thing. There is no difference between what is legal and what is right. If you are richer than everybody else, it's because you have provided more value to society than anybody else. In such a society, if people admire your wealth and want to emulate you, it's good lah. It's good that everybody admires you and want to emulate you, because if everybody admires you, tries to emulate you, it means that more people will try to generate value for society, and the more that people do it, the better it is for the society, because we will be more prosperous, we'll be happier when everybody is engaged in the activity of generating value. In such an ideal society, what is wrong is also going to be seen as illegal. If you try to get rich by harming society or doing something that is of no benefit to society, like selling drugs or robbing people, it is not only considered wrong, it will be illegal also, and the state will punish you for that. When punished, you will serve as an example to others, so that they don't aim to try to be rich by doing things that are detrimental or of no benefit to society. Sometimes in a less than ideal society, what is right might be considered illegal. This is not like an underdeveloped society. In other words, though you might be generating value, say you are selling a good, clean, wholesome food from a roadside stall, for example, you're generating value, it still be considered illegal because you might not have a permit to do so. In such a society, usually what we do to make what is right legal, the authorities and the people will or should cooperate in order to fix this discrepancy. The authorities, maybe they will tweak their law to make what is right to be legal instead of illegal, while the people might also be expected to go an extra mile to cooperate with the authorities, maybe apply for a permit, for example. If there is any punishment or fine involved in such a case where what is right is still considered illegal, it should be minimal. The aim here is not to punish or create a deterrence, but merely to rationalize or make sense of the changes. But you know what's a bad society, a corrupt society? This is the worst case scenario society. In a worst case bad society, corrupt society, what is wrong will be considered legal. In such a case, people will be making vast amount of money without generating any value. Worse, they might actually be harming society. Despite that, their wealth will still be considered legal. If the society, if the people in the society, we admire these individuals and try to emulate them, the result is going to be catastrophic lah. It will be catastrophic because many of the people in the society will be trying to get rich by doing things that harm society, or just do things that just waste the resource, energy, motivation of the society. The more that this happens, the poorer and more miserable that society will become. However, despite this entire arrangement making us poorer and more miserable as a society, nothing can be stopped, because their action, the actions of the corrupt people in the society will be considered legal lah. So nothing can be done to stop society's decline. In the first three scenarios I stated above, society can still be considered a working, functional, just society. In such a society, it probably will still make sense to presume that people are innocent until proven guilty. Why, Laya? Why? Because in such a society, most people are conditioned to generate value. Everybody will be taught you have to generate value. If you want to go up in society, if you want to become an important person, you must generate value for society. You must do something that is of benefit to society. When in this kind of society, when somebody does something unusual, it's generally better to presume that they are innocent, that they are not doing something that is harmful to society, just because they are doing something that we are not familiar with. Because innovation often looks unfamiliar at first, so giving people space and a chance to try out things that are unusual or different, is good, because it allows society to evolve, to improve. Innovation is necessary in order for us to continuously up our value producing ability. So it's good to produce to generally assume people are innocent until they are proven guilty. Even if we do this, we presume somebody is innocent before they are proven guilty, and we are wrong, actually they are guilty, the society is likely strong enough to absorb the mistake, learn from it, and correct the mistake in due course without suffering excessively from the delay. We can handle it we can handle the mistake so no problem. We assume somebody that is innocent before they are proven guilty, and because of that we realize it, we made a mistake, actually they are guilty we are guilty, we should have we just delayed realizing that. But it's okay, our society is still strong enough to handle the mistake. We can absorb it and we can learn from it, we can improve from it. But in a corrupt society, where what is legal, when what is wrong is considered legal, this presumption of innocence can become dangerous, because in this kind of society, the powerful are often the one that is corrupt and the one that is most capable of doing harm. Therefore, if we follow the innocent until proven guilty idea, the corrupt will never be held accountable. They will never be held accountable because they are the one writing and executing the law. And in their definition, in their actions will always be considered legal. They will always justify. They will always make the law to make what the wrongs that they are doing legal. The problem is, as long as they go unpunished, the rest of society will continue believing that the only way to succeed in life is to harm society or waste its vitality by doing things like cheating stealing betraying trust breaching trust or taking bribes in such a society will rot. It will rot from the top to bottom. Now, if you ask me, what kind of society are we? At the end of the day, I think this is the question that we need to answer before we decide about what should be done to Mahathir's children's wealth. The question is, what type of society are we? Are we a mostly just society, or are we a mostly corrupt society? If we believe that we are more or less a just society, where people are inclined to generate value in order to rise, then we shouldn't make Mahathir's children return their wealth unless we can prove that it was obtained illegally. In other words, the burden of proof lies on us. It lies with the government, it lies with the authorities, it lies with the public. We should prove that they did something wrong. It's not their job to prove that they are innocent. It's our job to prove they are guilty before we seize their asset. But if we believe we are actually a corrupt society, where many of us believe that the only way to rise in this sort of society is by harming society through doing things like bribery lah, by betraying trust lah, by betraying the nation lah, then we probably should seize Mahathir's children's wealth and make them prove how they earned it. If we don't shift the burden of proof onto them, we will forever remain a corrupt society where everybody will believe that in order to gain prominence, in order to gain importance and status in this society, we must act in a way that is harmful to the people, harmful to the society. So if we choose to believe that we are a corrupt society, the problem is we cannot just say that it's only Mahathir's children are the beneficiaries of this corrupt society. Like, if we are a corrupt society, then it follows that many of us are part of this corruption. Many of us probably believe and have practiced activities or actions where we try to gain things like power and wealth by wrongdoing, or not by doing something that is beneficial to society, not by generating value for society, but by doing some other stuff like bribery lah. Some people will call it networking ke apa-apa lah. Basically you're not generating value lah. You're just you're trying to go up without generating value. Sometimes you might even try to go up by doing something that is harmful for society. If this is the case, then we can't actually just focus on punishing Mahathir's children. We must accept that our society is actually broken, that we will continue to spiral into poverty, into misery, unless we reform ourselves. I guess this is where the word reformacy becomes meaningful. Its reformacy will become meaningful when we sort of accept that we have become a corrupt society. Then we must reform. It's not somebody else must reform. It's us. It's our culture, it's our values, it's our ideals, it's our principles that is corrupt. The way that we think is a proper way to rise is actually not proper, because it will cause the entire, if we rise, just one person rise using this way, the entire society will decline. So therefore the value is wrong, but we might believe in this value, so we need to reform our value. If we do that, only then we will be able to restore trust. Only then we'll be able to call ourselves a just society. Only then, with legality and legitimacy, will finally mean the same thing again. This is when legality and legitimacy both means the same thing, that's when we are considered like a good society, a just society, a fair society, even an advanced society. So to answer the question whether whether Anwar should seize Mahathir's wealth, I think we need to first answer the question: are we a just society, or are we mostly a corrupt society? We can only seize Mahathir's wealth if the answer is we are mostly a corrupt society. But here's the catch: once we accept that we are mostly a corrupt society, guess what? We can't just seize the wealth of Mahathir's children alone and call the matter settled. It's not settled. We must accept that we need to reform ourselves as well. If we don't do this, if we just seize Mahathir's children's wealth, but we don't accept that anything wrong with our society, that we need to reform the society as a whole, you know what happens? Our action against Mahathir's children is basically just vengeance. It's just it's just a grudge, like, yeah, we just pissed off with them. And if we do this, if we just entertain a grudge match, we just seize their wealth because of vengeance, we are just gonna make a bad situation worse. So that's the thing. If we're gonna seize their wealth, we have to accept that we are corrupt. If we are going to accept that we are corrupt, we're going to have to reform ourselves, and we have to reform ourselves meaningfully. The question is, are we ready to make this admission? Are we ready to do that? I leave it to you to think about that. This is all I have for you in this episode. I hope to see you again the next episode. In the meantime, as always, guys, stay safe, take care, have a good day. Bye bye.